Okay, welcome to the Standpoint. We are going to look at breaking the cycle. I have 3 fathers in the house, young fathers, and we are going to find out how we can break the cycle. Not, how they said the sins of the father shall be visited on the, how we're going to break it. How we're going to make sure that the things that our fathers did in the past that we were not happy about is not going to be repeated. It's going to be a very revealing and educative program. And I like to say welcome, welcome, welcome once again. If you know anybody who is hurting, who is angry, who is bitter about how the father treated him or her, tell the person to tune in and watch, because you know the danger about being bitter, the danger about being unforgiving. You may end up repeating the same mistakes. My name is Gifty, and welcome to the Standpoint. Let me say thank you to GTP for my cloth. My dress is by Chic Collection. Thank you so much to them. My shoes today by Plus Size. And Plus Size, I tell you all the time, connect with them on social media, especially Facebook, and they will help you set up your own business or become a dealer in shoes. They will give it to you, you sell, you bring them their money, and they are making sure they create businesses for young people out there who need jobs and are willing to work. Also say thank you to Paba Cosmetics for my makeup product, Applied by Makeup and More. My beads by Eguzi GH. We take a break. When we come back, we meet 3 young fathers who are determined not to repeat the mistakes of the past. We'll be back. Okay, hello and welcome back to the Standpoint. If you just joined us today, we are looking at how to break the cycle of always saying something negative about the fathers. How the young generation of fathers are going to make sure they do things differently. So it's going to be a very, very educative program, and you need to tune in. Let me say thank you to our sponsors, Wilma Africa. Wilma Africa produce Phyto cooking oil, which is made from palm fruit, so it makes it cholesterol free. It is also fortified with vitamin A and endorsed by the Ghana Medical Association. They're also importing to this country Fortune Rice. Fortune Rice comes in 3 variants. The green package one for the soft dishes, that's the Vietnamese one. And then the orange package KDM is good for the medium grain kind of dishes like wache and so on and so forth. And then, of course, the wine package one, that's Thailand, that's Thai rice. Long grain with all the aroma for, you know it, I don't have to say it, special Ghana rice, and so on. So you make sure you go for the right package for the kind of dish that you want to prepare. Thank you to Goil Ghana Oil Company Limited. I'm Winipang Kasayaya, dear homegrown business managed by Ghanaians, and it is doing so well, and they are giving us quality products. Let us invest in our own. Patronize Goil and you get the best quality of everything and cheaper prices as well. Wilma Africa, once again, thank you to them. This program is aired on ABN TV on Sky Channel 195, which is across Western Europe, parts of Canada and Asia. It is also on Virgin TV Channel 842 in UK. So tell your families outside to look out for the programs every Monday, and then on Saturday. It's shown twice a week in UK and Western Europe, so don't miss it. Say thank you to African Women's Development Fund, AWDF. They support African women's rights organizations across Africa. Follow us on Twitter, on Instagram, and like our Facebook page. And of course, get in there and let's have wonderful conversation every time. Now to our topic for discussion today. We are looking at how to break the cycle, and I have 3 young men with me here. They are all fathers, and seated at my extreme left is Nana Kweku Eyisi Yashring. He is an entrepreneur. He is group Chairman and CEO of Mantra Group, and he is from Edumasatu, so he's my son. Welcome to the Standpoint.
Thank you very much.
Good to have you on the program.
Same here.
Okay, and next to him is Dr. Alfred Sida. He's the medical officer at Kolebu Teaching Hospital, and he is a father as well. Welcome to the Standpoint, Doc. And thank you for agreeing at very short notice.
No problem.
Okay, next to him is I know the ABC Kaka for now. Okay. George Owusu Abebio. George is an entrepreneur, branding consultant, and he's my #1 volunteer. You know, anything the Standpoint, I would answer a reading project, Ghana, a Girl in Need Foundation is doing. He's volunteering and supporting and always there for us. Welcome to the Standpoint.
Thank you.
And how's the family doing?
We're doing good.
How long have you been married?
This August will be 4 years.
August will be 4 years.
Yes.
And how do you describe marriage life?
A game in a school.
A game and a school. Oh, wow.
Yes.
That's deep.
Yes.
A game and a school.
Yes.
How is it a game?
A game because like football, you either win, you lose, or you draw. So with marriage, you win as in become so blissful. There'll be some 1 or 2 fight, but till death do us. Do the two of you part. And it becomes a draw, more or less when there's so much confusion. You can't divorce, so let's just separate. But still, because of if you have children, let's separate our ways, but not divorce.
Right.
And then becomes a lose when
Each one goes.
right, you know, and that as in it goes beyond the separation.
Doc, what about you? How has marriage been? How long have you been married, first of all?
Okay, so mine too. This August, I'll be 3 years.
Oh, really?
Just,
okay.
Just a year short. I'll be 3 years. And, well, marriage, I would say it has been very revealing. Revealing. In a sense that when now you get to, you are living with one person close, but you get to know things about yourself that you actually never knew you were actually capable of. And through that, you actually grow and get to love the other person even more. So I agree with what he said, but that's also another angle I'm coming from.
Yeah.
It has been very revealing. There are certain things you never thought you could do, certain things you never thought you could say. That marriage brings it out, so that you work on it. Yeah.
Then, what about you?
Yeah, I've been married for 7 years.
7 years now?
And amazingly, I'll be also 7 years this August.
Hey!
So, we are all August.
There's something special about August.
August, yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
I've always been prepared for marriage.
Okay.
And thankfully too, my church had a structure that assists young people who want to marry. So for me, it was something I planned, and I had the right support also to be able to make the right choice. And
Okay,
all
so
that.
how has marriage life been for you?
It's been a good experience, and each day you discover something new, and that makes it very exciting. You know,
Each day you discover something
new
Is
about
it
each
about
other,
marriage or about you?
each other,
About each other. Okay.
Yeah.
What about the
So,
institution as marriage itself?
it's tough, but that is why you need matured men to be able to take that bold step. So for me, that is what makes it even more exciting to be able to take up a challenge, you know, knowing that you are not too sure how far you can go, you know, but then you are dedicated and very kind of determined to be able to make that journey.
What kind of mindset did you go into? You said you planned for it,
Yeah.
but what kind of mindset did you go into marriage with?
For me, I had always wanted to have that kind of stable life and very focused one, and I knew from the start that marriage will provide that platform, you know, because as a young guy growing up and having the opportunity to make some good money, if you are not careful and with the wrong friends, you end up just living anyhow. And so for me, once I was ready, because I had always set a date that when I get to this probably age, I'll be able to settle.
How old were you when you got married?
When I got married, I was 30.
And George, what kind of perception did you have about marriage, and what were you expecting out of it?
I was thinking I was going to get into marriage by molding the woman of substance to me, the kind of person I wanted her to be. But I realized, hey, it's going to be possible. It's not possible. You just have to live with such a person, you know, and try to be responsible as a man, first of all, a father, and a big brother. And I'm just praying to God. And let me say this. I actually also went into marriage telling myself, God, help me not to repeat the mistakes of my father. Trust me. Reason being that he was a very happy man, but he always tells me that he had been happier if probably had met my mom. You know, because apart from my mom, like having children with my mom, he had some other children. But if you don't tell you we are sort of steps or halves, you never believe it because we are so united. We are very close, extremely close, as in, the siblings. You know, so I don't want to have a kid with this woman, have another kid with the other woman. Sometimes you can't blame the man.
Right.
You know, but I'm just praying I don't repeat such a mistake. Trust me.
Of having
no
children.
No, I just want them to be. Yes, I just want these children to be with one mom, one dad. That's it.
That's it. And stay together. Let me take a break. When we come back, we'll continue the discussion. You're watching The Standpoint. Again, we say thank you to Gogot Yogurt, Awake Purified Mineral Water. Thank you to Veraldo Malt Drink. It comes in apple and pineapple. And both Awake and Veraldo drinks are produced by Casapreco Company Limited. Auntie Vera, thank you so much for supporting us all these years. Cooking for my crew, my guests, and everybody. We are so grateful. Cake Technique, ever faithful. We are so grateful to you for your support. Matamaze, they give us support all the time. And then, Cleaning Services keeps our environment clean. We take a break. When we come back, what are they doing to make sure they don't repeat the mistakes of the fathers? We'll be back. Welcome back to The Standpoint. Yes, we are talking about breaking the cycle. Yeah, breaking the cycle. And again, I say thank you to GTP for my cloth, my dress is by Chic Collection, and makeup products by Paba Cosmetics, applied by Makeup and More. My shoe today is from Plus Size. And Plus Size, I tell you all the time, get in touch with them on social media, especially Facebook, and then you can start your own business with them dealing in shoes. Thank you to Eguzi G8 for my earrings. And we're talking about breaking the cycle. And let me start with you, Nanakwe. I'll continue with you. What kind of let's say socialization did you have? What kind of family did you grow up in? Are your parents together? What kind of, marriage did you see growing up?
Well, I must say I have been blessed to have a family which has always stuck together all these years. My father and mother are still together, even though my father is almost 84, 85, yeah. They've always been married. And that is one thing I look up to him for. But of course, there are other things that I hope not to repeat in terms of when it comes to infrastructure. I think he couldn't start building early. And so for some of us, we had to struggle, and it's a family house, so you can understand all the time the siblings, his siblings, trying to always fight for what is theirs and all that. So for me, that is one thing I didn't want to repeat. And so, of course, I took steps to be able to correct that. So by God's grace, I've been able to build my own house with the help of my wife. So it's something I didn't want to repeat, so that I can have that peace of mind and my children can have that freedom, growing up, exactly.
Okay, okay. Doc, you?
So, like him, my parents were really, I could say that the standard. That's from where my dad was especially, I could say he's like the best husband and father anyone, any woman or man can have. And he taught us a lot. And for us, and for me, I grew in an environment where God's word, the Bible, was central too. So every morning we're having devotions, and he was also fun loving. Remember, we could go out, celebrate. One of the routines in our family was every time there was somebody's birthday, we go out to go and eat, and we come back. So I grew up, and they are actually still together. It's just that it's unfortunate that last year my dad passed away.
Oh,
yeah. So
may he rest in peace. Yeah.
So now it's just left with my mom now. But I mean, from what I saw, from the togetherness I saw, I mean, that was a kind of background I actually came. So actually, for me, instead of more like not wanting to repeat them, I actually want to copy.
Okay.
I actually want to copy what
you saw,
what he did.
Yeah.
Yes, and I mean, you could see it. I mean, on the day that he died, or for his brother, you could see a lot of testimonies about how wonderful and great this man is, and how he loved his wife, loved his children. So I mean, so it's something, but I definitely want to improve upon that.
What kind of relationship are you looking forward to, in terms of you and your wife, in teaming up to bring up your children?
So it has to be an equal responsibility, where we both agree on this. Because obviously one person can't say one thing and I can't say one thing and my wife to say another thing. Then obviously then the children will be like, who are we going for, mom or dad? So the first thing that needs to be I'm looking towards that we become one in the things that we want them to know, things that we want them to train them to be. So that's actually the main thing I'm looking at, that we become one, so that when we are growing them up, and because both of us are committed to the scriptures, it becomes easier, so that nobody has any other value, because we all are submitting to one authority, so that nobody has different values. It's not that, but this is what God said, so both of us have the same values, so we move
with the values.
That,
okay.
yeah.
George, you said earlier that one of the things you don't want to repeat, one of the mistakes that you don't want to, is to have children with different women.
Right.
So do I get it that you have built your mindset to the fact that through thick and thin, you're staying with your wife?
Yes. With Christ, all things are possible.
Amen.
Trust me. Because as I said earlier, marriage is a school and a game. I think I explained the game aspect.
Yes, you did.
But the school has to do with everyday learning. Every day, you have to learn. You get advices from your siblings, from your pastors. Because definitely when you're in a home, there'll be some sort of fight. You'll go like, my breath, I'm tired of this marriage.
Yeah.
And the best person to speak to is your pastor. So, I mean, as a Catholic, trust me, when you go tell your pastor that I'm tired of this marriage, forget it. He won't mind you. Because what we believe as Catholics is there's no divorce. The best the church can do is separate. And even that is very difficult. So the pastor then sort of listens to you. He advises and tells you, go back, I'll talk to your wife. And he will talk to your wife whilst you don't know. And then the two of you will come back together again by talking to him. And by then you go like, relax it. Especially when there are kids involved. So that is when it becomes a school, because you get to learn every single day. And even when there are kids, there are kids around as well, you get to know, okay, so do I have to leave your mother because of what she said or what she did? What happens? Am I going to take care of you? Is God going to grant me that kind of, what is it in law? What would they say? Custody.
Custody, yeah.
So that becomes a school. But
and with that position, you think you can still...
Oh, yes. God, at the days when things happened, like you being married and having some other woman aside. But no. I'm going to be that person with Christian values attached to that institution. Yes.
Determined.
So determined. Trust me.
So help you God.
Yes, so help me God.
Nana Kweku, determined to stick to one wife?
Of course, I've never had a doubt about that, because I went into it very prepared. So the most important thing was to find.
And when I say stick to one wife, and not that marrying two, but not having any side issues.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. That I went into it one prepared, and so I had the leisure of taking time to be able to pick the right woman. And I must say, my wife has been a blessing. I mean, she's here and
she's very hardworking,
very supportive, very supportive. And your daughter too, Moga, you know.
Yeah,
so.
I know, right? You marry a Moga, you get the best.
You see, so I mean, she's been very supportive. She's been
Man five, I know Moga for you, yeah. What was it?
My younger sister.
Your younger sister went to Vansaman. Yeah, I know.
Yeah. So she's been very supportive, and you know, very instrumental in growing, like raising the kids. And sometimes I wonder where she even got the skills from, because we have not really had the pleasure of, you know, relying on our parents. But within a short space, she was able to learn a lot of things. And sometimes I just lie down and, you know, watch how she does things, and I'm amazed. You know, so for me, she's been a great pillar, and without her, I don't think I'll be able to attain that.
Amen to that. What is your greatest fear when it comes to marriage?
Well, my greatest fear is death. You know, I mean, death. Apart from that, I don't have any doubts my wife will ever turn her back against me, or I will turn my back against her. I must be honest, regardless my shortfalls, it's death. And you know, sometimes you wonder, even if I live right and I live here, would I still meet her? Would I still be with her? Sometimes it scares me, you know, but hey, who knows?
Who knows?
Keep trusting God.
Good, so, trusting God, yeah. Doc, what about you? Your greatest fear concerning marriage?
I would not say death. Probably running away from the one source that gives us the strength to do that. Is so running away from God, from Christ. I think that's my greatest fear, that we don't lose faith in that.
Judge, you're nodding. Your greatest fear?
I'm just
so far, has there been anything that has really shaken the foundation? You don't need to go into detail, but have you had the experience where it is really shaking the foundation of your marriage?
Yes.
And you've looked at it, you've survived it, and that tells you that I can do this, I can survive it.
Yes. And it happened recently, and I thought, hey, enough's enough. Let's just go our ways. Yes, but upon the wise counsel from my mom, my dad, and my pastor, and then my wife's mom, I thought it wise into Uja area. I mean, do you think the other woman will be perfect than your previous wife? And we had to resolve issues, and we were good.
Let's take another break. When we come back, we'll continue the discussion. Right? Let me say thank you to our sponsors, Walmart Africa. They produce Frito cooking oil. Frito is made from palm fruit and fortified with vitamin A, so it is cholesterol-free, and it's endorsed by the Ghana Medical Association. They also import into this country fried Fortune rice, and Fortune rice comes in 3 variants. The green package one for the soft dishes, that's the Vietnamese one. The orange package one, KDM, is good for the medium grain kind of dishes. And then the wine package one, excellent for, you know, long grain with the aroma and everything, and that's the Thailand kind of rice, and you go for the right one for the kind of dishes that you want to prepare. And thank you to Goyle, Ghana Oil Company Limited, made in Ghana. Let's patronize made in Ghana products. We'll take a break. When we come back, we'll continue this discussion. Back to the standpoint. Now, Nana Kweku, what do you think young men like you, below 40, are forgetting, are losing track of, that's making them repeat the same mistakes of the quote-unquote, the fathers?
All right. I think that's a very deep question, but this is how I will look at it. I believe every young man, before you go into marriage, first of all, you must look at the person that you want to go out with. So there should be one, affection. Okay. And then when you have affection, that is one thing that will bind the two of you together because something attracts you to that person. Then there must be love. If you love somebody and the person offends you, it's easy to forgive the person because even the Bible says so. And then you must also look at religion in terms of beliefs. That's what I want to say. You must share the same belief because let's say if there's a situation and you say, let's pray about it. And she says, I don't want to pray about it because I don't believe in God. Then there will be a problem. And then after that, you must also look at acceptance by the family. You must be accepted by her family. And then her family must also accept you so that you know that at least they will not oppose the marriage. And then there must also be respect. You must respect each other. And this is when there's respect, I mean, there's that kind of trust. So then trust also comes in. Okay, so for me, these are the key things every young man should be able to look out for in a relationship before you get yourself involved. Because trust me, if you let go any of these points that I've raised, thinking that you have a perfect relationship, you are just deceiving yourself. All of these must work together for you to be able to sustain that relationship to wherever you want to take it.
Right.
So for me, that is how I always.
But don't you think that it is so normal and perhaps maybe in the gene of men to cheat or to have extramarital affairs?
Well, what I would say is that every human being has that sinful nature. Okay, but then we also have that willpower to be able to overcome that. And so, in as much as I will not brand the men to be cheats, but women also, that's the same.
Today
so
we are talking about men.
Yeah, but I'm just trying to say that to make my point.
Right.
That,
I get
so we all have that sinful nature, but then it is that that willingness to be able to overcome that. So for me, I don't think it's in our nature to cheat. No.
In conclusion, George, what's your advice to young people married and determined to make their marriages work?
I think what the best I can say is to respect each other. Respect with respect to getting to know your wife, getting to know what she does that you don't like. And if she does them, what are the checks that you can put in place for her not to sort of, or for you not to hit your wife? Because I experienced a situation in my life that has molded me big time. My dad was a military officer, very quick-tempered, and I'm also quick-tempered, but for all the times I saw him fighting with my mom, he never raised the hand. Okay, so regardless of whatever situation, if you think you're going to get married, you don't have that heart to, I think in one of the hadiths of Prophet Muhammad said, if you want to beat your wife, use a feather. And even that one, unless she has gone to the extreme, that's when you can use a feather. So, I mean, you can imagine. So if you're a man and you get married and you think you don't have that heart to stay as a married man, then don't even go into it.
Do you think the kind of woman you choose to be your wife also helps you in check in making that determination not to go wrong?
For me, I got my principles from the scriptures again, and the idea was it was in total. I know it's not very popular now. It's not very popular in our culture now. Once you mention the word submission, then it becomes a whole. I know it's not very popular, yes, but some of us still want to stick to that. But it's not a submission of inferiority. It's a submission of just the way you are functioning. Okay, so I remember it was just three. This free advice to all the men out there: the submission to the Lord first, submission to the authority in her life, then submission to the home. Not in a sense that she is a stay-at-home mom, but she prioritizes her home too, in addition to her work and all that. I think if you have a woman like that, you can go 500 years in marriage, and you don't have a problem.
And I could go final word.
Well, I think they've made very good points. I'll just add some few. I'll add just two, three more points. I would say prayer is key. So you should be very prayerful. It's very important as a family. Two, I would say that communication is key. It's very important. When you feel offended, you have to voice it out. That's the only way the woman will know maybe you did something, she did something you didn't like. And it's the same way she has to also voice out and tell you your mistakes. It's very important. If you don't voice out, there's always anger. There's always anger building, and before you know it will lead to something else. And then finally, I would say that it's very important for all young men who are into marriage to know that, marriage is here, and then divorce is here. What keeps marriage here is the constant good, as in the right things you are supposed to do, that keeps it there. Divorce is always here. So the moment you start doing the wrong things, it's dropping. So if you're supposed to cook and you didn't cook and you just spoke to him anyhow, it's dropping until it gets to a point that it falls on divorce. So it's not magic holding your marriage, but it's your consistent effort, in doing the right things that keeps it at marriage. So always let's have that mindset that marriage is here and divorce is here. And so each time you are doing the right thing, you suspend it. But the moment you start doing the wrong things, it's gradually coming down. Okay. And it takes time for it to finally fall on divorce. That's all I'll say.
Thank you very much. And you all determined to make your marriages work. So as part of celebrating you, we have some packages for you from Walmart Africa and then Casa Precon. And we are giving it to you so that you will cook. So we have, all the stuff in there and some water from, Awake, and then some drinks as well for you. And then we also like to say thank you to Anne Menzo. Anne Menzo, she's in UK, and she brought us these beautiful cookies from UK. July 11th, the Standpoint is going to be 10 years, and we are looking for support and sponsorship with individual contributions for us to celebrate in a big, in a really big way, big style. And so thank you so much. And I will be selective who to give in the audience. But my panelists, everybody is going to get a cookie to taste as well. Thank you all so much. And we take a break. When we come back, I'll give you a bit of me. By the grace of God, I've had the opportunity to be so many things in my lifetime so far. To be a speaker on various platforms, to be a chairperson, to be a panelist, to be a moderator, to be an MC, and what have you. But one of the things I've never done is to be a judge at any program. So I do not judge in what I'm about to say. You see, when we're about to do this particular program, I called a few younger men. Below 40, some married for a very short time. And I tricked them by saying that if you know you have a side chick, don't come on this program, because I'll ask about that. And most of them chickened out. They didn't want to be a part of it. Somebody married for just 6 months, already has a side chick and all that. Now, I don't believe that it is normal or it is okay for every man to cheat on his wife or to have a side chick or whatever. I don't believe that. And I don't believe that there's any good reason for any man to do that. It is a choice. I'm not judging. But what I'm saying is a choice. Whether you decide to hate your wife, to cheat your wife, to abuse your wife in whichever way, to neglect your children, the greatest sin, according to me, quote unquote, to neglect your children, it is a choice you make. No reason is good enough for you to do any of these things. Yes, you're a human being. You are fallible. But you have a choice. You have a choice to choose what you do, how you react. Sometimes, yes, it may be beyond. You don't know what, they said, something insanity, momentary insanity. So it just happens. But a wise man quickly puts his thoughts together. And it's not good enough for you to say, and my wife did that, and she did that. That's the woman you chose. That's the woman you decided to live with. If you are the man that you say you are, if you are really the head that you want us to hold you high, that you are the head, then you have a choice. So, dear young man, now getting into marriage or now married, it is your choice. What you do with your life. But remember, there are consequences for everything. As a Christian, I can say grace abounds. But then, we face the consequences for our actions. So think about it. Think about it. How you treat a woman, how you treat your children, have dire consequences on you. Happy Father's Month, and may God help you. May God help you to live right and do what is right. Do your best, that's my advice to you, and leave the rest to God. I am a woman with super crazy faith in God, that He's got me covered. Thanks for watching. See you same time next week. Bye for now.